With the Overwatch League about a month away, it looks like Blizzard was aiming to destroy Goats Comp before it made its way into the Overwatch League. Absolutely massive nerfs coming through both to Armor, Brigitte, D.Va, and a buff to Reaper as well. First up, damage reduction from Armor is now -3 per instance of damage, where it used to be -5. The developers explain it this way: before this change, Armor reduced all incoming damage by up to 5, maxing at half of the normal amount. This change reduces the damage reduction to 3, while still capping at half. This change will be mostly noticeable on heroes that fire quickly or in a burst of shots, such as shotguns, and which do more than 6 damage per shot. For example, Soldier 76's heavy pulse rifle will now do 16 damage per shot to Armor, up from 14. An increase of 15%. Armor was a bit too strong overall, especially when being healed quickly and often. This change will help more heroes fight against higher armored enemies. This change is remarkably big, because up against armored targets, a character like Tracer used to have her damage reduced up to 40%, now she's just getting a big chunk of that back. This is important that even during Brigitte's rally armor, spread damage is just straight up buffed, whereas it used to feel like it was doing nothing. Keep in mind, spread damage characters are Tracer, Reaper, D.Va, Doomfist's hand cannon, all of these weapons that shoot out a lot of little pellets rather than one big shot, but also heavily impacted Winston's Tesla cannon as well. On top of this, Brigitte got another nerf. Rally now has a maximum duration of 30 seconds. The devs say sometimes Rally could cause a snowballing effect where it was too difficult to deal with the increased health of Brigitte's allies before she built up another one. This change puts a cap on how long her rally effect can last to make it a bit more manageable in those situations. The too long didn't read version of this is rally doesn't last forever. Instead, it's going to start to decay after 30 seconds of use, so that no longer means you can have rally stacked on your team in between fights. It's only going to be usable in the fight that you pop it, which has absolutely extreme implications for Goats Comp, and frankly, Brigitte as a character overall. Rally goes from being one of the strongest ultimates in the game to the point that it deletes a character like Tracer from existence because of how the lingering effect stops Tracer's mid-fight from being useful whatsoever, to now, Rally is easily the worst support ult in the game. Well, maybe Valkyrie's still worse, but that's the point. It's similar in mehness to Valkyrie, and when there's support ults like Lucio's Sound Barrier or Zenyatta's Transcendence, you're going to have to use Rally in such a predictable way now. Goats Comp will still be able to bully their way onto the objective, pop Rally in an aggressive posture, but since you know you can just wait it out, there's light at the end of the tunnel now for the mobility and poke comps to stall the fight out until they get their ults, which Goats Comp was always weak to. Luckily, fans of Brigitte, her kit as a character is already just really strong, and despite both of these massive nerfs, Goats will still be playable on some maps, but it won't be the meta any longer. No way, no how. These nerfs are too big, and we haven't even got to the next one. The other poster child for keeping the Goats Comp alive is D.Va, who, keep in mind, is now more effective against armor, so she gets a sort of buff in the transition of these things, because her weapon used to get hit hard by armor, but now her defense matrix cooldown is increased from 1 second to 2. The devs say this change allows D.Va's enemies to try to play around her defense matrix by increasing its downtime between uses. This is massive on multiple levels, especially for the top level competitive scene, where now it'll be a lot easier to land graviton surges, because as soon as you see the defense matrix go down, you know there's a big open gap for you to be able to launch the graviton before she can eat it. But also as well, any ultimate for that matter. D.Va used to just destroy all sorts of ultimates and big bursts of damage or cooldowns from all manner of characters. Now that once you see the defense matrix go down, you know there's a gap where you can land your barrage, Onanade, McCree stun, whatever it is. If there was any hope of Goats Comp surviving with the other nerfs that came through to it, this one most definitely will be the nail in the coffin. And if that wasn't enough, there's another change. Reaper has increased lifesteal from 30% to now half of his damage, which I tested this on the PTR. A full shotgun can do 140, and if you hit all in the head, that's double, 280, but even just a normal shotgun shot means you get 70 life per shot now. That is a serious amount. The devs explain it by saying Reaper's passive is one of his main tools he has which allow him to play aggressively when near his enemies. This change allows him to keep the pressure up as long as he can stay near his enemies enough to keep dealing damage. This change is particularly effective versus tanks, as they tend to do less damage than damage heroes and also take more damage from his Hellfire shotguns due to their large hit volumes. Think of it this way, Reinhardt's hammer does 75 per swing. Reaper in one shot heals all of that. This one may have been a bit too far, and I think and fear, especially for the lower ranks out there who now are going to get demolished by Reapers. You already felt like you had to run for your life as a tank player against Reaper, in my opinion, unless you were playing the GOATS comp. Now, if you're playing a 2-2-2 up against the Reaper, hide your kids, hide your wife, he's reaping everyone out here. Reaper will feel unkillable against certain tanks, and remember, one of his biggest tank counters, D.Va, also gets nerfed on this patch. So that means you see her defense matrix, maybe you Wraith to escape a little bit, get your reload in, and then you have 2 full seconds to beat down on D.Va or pop your ultimate. Holy moly, Reaper got a massive buff. Now, truth be told, I don't think this is going to skyrocket Reaper into being good at the higher levels of play, because the potential output of characters like Tracer is simply always going to be higher in my opinion, but especially at lower ranks, Reaper is going to be legit, mainly because this lifesteal really interacts with certain damage thresholds that are going to, by far and away, put him over the top in some of these tank interactions. Run away. Guys, what do you think about these changes? An official RIP to GOATS. I already thought that it was counterable despite it being the top meta comp, but now I think it's officially just dead. You'll still be able to run in the shielding comp if you have the pathing to get to an objective that forces the enemy to brawl, but there's so many wide open weaknesses to the comp now that it won't be run on every map at least. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave it a like. It really does help us out, lets us know that you're enjoying the content, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Link to the description is our Twitter, where we tweet out news, updates, and dank memes. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for your Overwatch. See you guys next time.